Okay. What is sex trafficking? When you think of sex trafficking, do you think of just a homeless girl on the street being kidnapped by some horrible, horrible men, brought against her will, and forced, in chains and chained to a bed and just being abused with, no choice of leaving? That is the case for many victims of sex trafficking, sadly. But also, sex trafficking is not what you may think. Sex trafficking can also be somebody just like you or me. Both men, women, children, anyone, normal people who come to a place in their life at absolute rock bottom where they must make the gut-wrenching decision to sell their bodies into sex trafficking just to make ends meet. See, far too often, we go about our daily lives completely unaware and unaffected by the vast issue of sex trafficking. Statistically speaking, our sisters, our moms, our cousins, our friends, our family, the people around us, there are so many more people involved in sex trafficking than you may realize, whether that be a victim of the problem or fueling the issue itself. Over the course of this speech, I hope to inform you about the issue of sex trafficking, what it really is, the root problem of it, and also what we can do about it to fight back against it. This is not an easy topic to talk about by any means, but that doesn't mean that we can just shy away from it. As humans, it is our ethical responsibility to respond to this, and you can't respond to something if you are uninformed about it. You see, there are way, way more sex trafficking victims than we realize. The ILO organization states that there were 40 million victims of human trafficking. Not the same as sex trafficking, but human trafficking, which means forced labor in some capacity. There are 40 million people over the course of the world that are victims of human trafficking right now. That could fill up Kyle Field over 300 times to full capacity. And it's hard to get a guesstimate of how many of these are sex trafficking victims, but we know that a vast majority of them are. There are millions of men, women, and children slaves right now. It's the modern form of slavery. And if this number doesn't completely shock you, then the NSCRV says that 27% of all women have been sexually assaulted or sexually harassed at some point in their lives. That is 1 in every 4 women that you know. Think of your mom. Think of your sisters. Think of your coworkers or the person that sits next to you in class. Statistically speaking, 1 in every 4 women have been sexually abused in some capacity. That is absolutely horrible. That makes me almost lose complete faith in humanity. That breaks my heart. But the main question of this information, hearing this horrible information, it causes me to ask the question, what causes this? And honestly, guys, something that has been so normalized and just so casual, we make jokes about it. It's all across our society, and that's pornography. See, the Stop Trafficking Demand organization states that pornography users demand a constant stream of new, increasingly violent and fetishized content. This means that guys, majority of the people watching this video have probably struggled with pornography at some point in their lives. That's just common knowledge. But the fact is that every time someone watches pornography, something happens in their brain that causes them to want more and more and more and more. And so it's a business. What do you do whenever the demand raises in a business? You raise the supply. That's what any smart business person would do. And that's exactly what horrible men and women do who create pornography. Guys, many people don't realize that the participants in pornography are actually doing it against their will. There's an organization called Exodus Cry that had started a petition and is trying so hard to raise awareness to this problem. But I'm not saying that every single person in the pornography industry is doing it against their will, but so many of them are. So many of them have no other options in life. And this doesn't mean that they, like I said at the beginning, are chained to a bed or whatever else, but they are normal people trying to make ends meet, and this is the only way that they can do it. It isn't just some lighthearted casual thing that we should pass over, but pornography is a huge problem. And there's millions and millions and millions of victims, and also people fueling the problem. And at first this can seem really discouraging, but I want to just inform you and just make it and encourage you that there is hope. See, there's organizations like Amira, for instance, which build safe homes for these women who have escaped from sex trafficking. There's also just spreading awareness. Guys, the best thing that we can do to fight this problem is build safe homes and spread awareness. Because if people don't know, how can they help? So like I said, Amira, they provide a place for women to escape to. You see, put yourself in the shoes of these men or women. If you know that there is not hope for you at the end of the tunnel, why try to escape it all? But Amira is an amazing, amazing organization that, like I said, builds these safe homes, and they help them recover spiritually, mentally, physically, and allow them to transition slowly back into the normal society, the normal world, where they can continue on a life of healing and a life of growth away from their once slavery. And also just simply spreading awareness. An article by Revealing Reality says that most people don't even know the dangers of pornography. Most people just simply watch pornography for the sake of learning something new about sex, or learning something fun to do, or just, fun pastime. But spreading awareness that pornography is dangerous. For you individually, it messes with your mind. And also you're fueling the fire of a horrible, disgusting business that harms women and men and children. In conclusion, I just wanted to thank you all for listening. This is such important information, and I hope that you will do with it whatever you please. But like I said, you can't change your lifestyle without information first. So thank you for listening to this. I hope you all have a great day.